guys, and welcome back to LPB Racing for the WEC Replica Championship on Project Cars 2. We are getting ready for a start here for the second race at Silverstone. If you want info about the championship, just refer to the first race, because I explained it all in that one. So we're getting ready for a start now. So obviously we've swapped round, so the teammates have swapped classes, and we've now got Footman on pole position from Keith. So looking good for a start here, up on the rev limiters, ready for a start. Approaching the line. And revs rise, away we go. Good start by Footman, and Keith follows him into the first corner. And then we've got Blakeney up there as well in the Toyota as we go down towards the hairpin. Footman in the lead then. Then further back we've got a good battle in the GT group as well, but Keith's up the inside of Blakeney, but then Blakeney's on the grass. Going to try and go for the inside into the corner, bang! Contact! And now he spins himself round on the inside as we watch him rejoin there. And there come the GT boys, they've all come streaming through. There's Growly Bear in second place now onto the Wellington straight into Priory and Luffield. Footman and Growly already pulling out a gap on the others. So Blakeney all the way back down into last place now, and he's got to get past all the GT boys as well. And remember, GT boys have got right of way when it comes to the line, the racing line. So that's going to make things all the more interesting as we look at Footman into Cops Corner, followed by Growly Bear. These LMP1 cars so fast around these corners. There goes Keith, followed by Stacker, Arzadar Blade in the Marek. And then there's Callum, followed by Bidzster, who goes over the curb a bit there. Cyrex in the Ferrari. And then we've got Neil Farmack in the Corvette. So obviously remember, all swapped with the teammates. So as we go through the Maggots Beckett section, you can see Blakeney back there, he's in the traffic. So Blakeney's in the traffic, he's got to get round the traffic. Remember, the GT boys have got the priority on the line. But this is where Blakeney will be able to power past these boys down the straight. So he's catching up to people. He's just passed Cyrex. Now he's got to get past Bidzster, but it's remember, Bidzster will have the right of way of line into here, so Blakeney will wait and go around the outside. And now he's got to try and get past Callum, and he's going to try and do it on the brakes into the corner. Very risky, but he gets it done. And Callum is now offline. He's on the dirty line, and he's spun. Callum's gone round in the Ford GT. There he goes, because he had to go onto the dirty side of the track because Blakeney decided to dive past. But yeah, Callum rejoins in 13th and last place, so very unlucky for Callum there. He'll be kicking himself for that. But Footman, meanwhile, out in front, 3.5 seconds ahead of Growly Bear, who is also roughly about 3 or 4 seconds ahead of Stacker in the Toyota. There he is. And then further back here, we've got a little scrap. We've got Keith and Arzadar battling. So there's Keith and there's Arzadar. Further back in the Marek. Look at them two coming round Luffield. There's Arzadar. And onto the straight we go. Flying down the straight, and Keith's really pulling away from Arzadar Blade there. I don't know what's up with that car, but it seems to be something wrong with the power. It seems to be quite slow out of the corners. I don't think there's any hybrid system working on that car, so that's a glitch in the game probably, or an error. But Arzadar Blade struggling for pace there. That's the only thing I can think of. But as we go back to the GTE boys, Cyrex in the lead in the Ferrari, then it's Bidzster in the Porsche, Neil, James Deluxe, and the camera gets to us, there we go, and TY in the Aston Martin there. So that's what Blakeney should have been in the first race, but Blakeney's obviously in this race now. As we look at TY and James Deluxe into the Maggots Beckett complex. And to here, the Aston Martin's got very good straight line speed. It's not as good around the corners. As you can see, TY twitching all over the place. It's not very good around the corners, the Aston, but it is like lightning on the straight. So tracks later on in the season like Spa or Le Mans, that'll be where the Aston Martin will shine with the top end. So watch this space when it comes to the GT battle. As we look at Stacker here in third place. There he is in Bidster's Toyota from the first race. So he's in third place, doing very well in that car so far, and Keith behind him. And there's Keith, he's in the Audi. So he's in James Deluxe's Audi from last time, so he's in fourth place there in his class. So go back to the GT boys again, close battles happening here. We've got Cyrex, who's been caught slightly by Bidzster, and then we've got Neil Farmack just in the background there in the Corvette. There he is, in that Corvette. And people quite close here as we look at Callum and Stevie. As Callum's just gone up the inside of Stevie, I think. Stevie will just be behind in this shot. You'll see him in a moment. There he is in the green Ford back there. So Stevie at the back in this one. Callum working his way back up the field at a nice steady pace as we look at Blakeney now, who is under pressure from RZR. Or is it? Oh no, RZR's got past. Sorry, Blakeney's got past RZR. We'll get my words right. So RZR definitely will be a problem on that car, and we'll just get a replay on how Blakeney got past to see the power difference. Blakeney got past RZR to see if there was a problem with RZR's car. We come out this corner, and yeah, you can see there definitely the hybrid system not working as we just power straight through, and there we are. There's Blakeney pulling away. So as you come back from that, then RZR blade with a definite power defect there, so he's not got very good power. As you can see on the straight, you can see visibly Blakeney pulling away from RZR blade, so he's definitely got a problem there. So we'll have to see how that goes later on in the race, see if it rectifies itself. So meanwhile, Footman up front in the RWD. So Footman in the lead then, and his teammate Stevie at the back. So again, so first and last for that team. Not really a code colour for the teams really, because I've just let people go for what colours they want, because there wasn't really much choice when it came to the colours with some of the cars. So it is a bit disappointing that the Porsche and a few others didn't come with a few more different colours like the others did, but hey ho, can't always have it the way that you want it. So Footman goes through out of left field, he's in the lead. Growly Bear there in second place, so he's in the RWD as well, so RWD 1 and 2. Then it's Toyota in third with Stacker, then it's Audi in fourth with Keith, and Blakeney, the other Toyota, in fifth place, and obviously the lone Marek with definite power problems is RZR Blade. So let's hope that RZR Blade doesn't give up and he keeps going, because at least he'll get some points out of it, because it's definitely faster than the GT car, even without the hybrid. So Cyrex there in 7th place. Then we've got Bidzster, who's second in class and 8th overall in the Porsche, so he's going around consistently as well. Don't forget, lap 7 to 15 is the pit window. Lap 7 to lap 15 is the pit window, so it gives plenty of people a chance to do the pit stops, but also it stops people from pitting on like lap 1 or the last lap, just to take the mick out the stuff. So pit lap between lap 7 and 15 is the pit window. As we look at TY being caught there by Callum, but just behind him. So again, that Aston Martin there visibly not as quick in the corners as we go around here, but still no slouch from TY, and TY is definitely no slouch anyway. He's one of the fastest drivers on LPB racing, so let's hope he can make that Aston Martin work. So him and Blakeney sharing that Aston. Let's see what damage they can do over the season as they come down towards Cops Corner. TY here with the lights ablaze on that Aston. Does look lovely in the Gulf colours, I do have to admit. It does look beautiful as he makes a mistake out of the corner. Not handling beautiful though, as Callum closes up, as the cameras go funny, but TY just about hangs on to it there, so good job by TY there to hold on to that. As we look at Callum coming round the Maggots Beckett's Chapel complex and out onto the hangar straight. This is where the Aston Martin will pull away slightly. So as we look at Bidzster in second place in class, sliding that Porsche around the corner, losing a bit of time to Cyrex, and he's actually being caught by Neil Farmack now in the Corvette slowly. So we'll have to see how that goes over the duration of the race. As Callum is still behind TY, but not close enough to make a move yet, because on the straight the Aston pulled out maybe a car length or so, because it is hard to catch up. So meanwhile, Stacker in third place, he's being caught by Keith, I think, is when the camera starts working. There we go, there's Stacker, and then you'll see just behind in shot, there's Keith coming through in the Audi. So there you see, they're not far apart, only 1.8 seconds between them roughly, 1.8 to 2 seconds, so not much in it at all. And then RZR Blades drop right back, he's 21 seconds behind his closest compatriot in his class, so he's not really doing very well here, RZR Blade. But again, that is a car problem, nothing to do with the talent. I don't think there's any hybrid system working on that car. I think it's a glitch in the game, unfortunately, which has affected that. So hopefully Project Cars will be able to fix that for next week. Here's Footman then, he's got a 10-second lead in his class, he's really pulling away, he's doing a very good job there. As we go back to the GT battle, we've got Bidzster and Neil Farmack close together, so not far apart between these two here. As we come down towards Cops Corners, look at Cyrex, there goes Cyrex through in the new Ferrari 488, so nice cleanly through there for Cyrex as Bidzster and Neil go through. again, very nice lines from them as well, and that Corvette does sound gorgeous. Beautiful V8 sound from that Porsche as we get to look at a wall, because the cameras just don't like to work on this game. There we go. As James Deluxe comes through, TY again going back into the hands of Callum, and TY goes really wide there onto the gravel. He's lost it completely, and now he's going to try and take the shortcut back onto the track and drifts the car round and just stops short of the barrier. Now he's going to turn the car right back round again and get going, but unlucky there for TY as Stevie goes through and TY goes back down to last in class. So that is obviously this is not a very good Aston Martin track because of all of the fast corners that are involved, so not good for TY as Footman goes through there. So Footman's lapping the GT boys now, so he's lapped TY already, he's lapped Callum. Next stop is let's have a look, James Deluxe. There it is, I was thinking of the name. There's James Deluxe, and so remember the GT boys get the right of way on the line, and the LMP1 boys have to go around them. So there goes Footman through on to start another lap. So he's on lap 7 now, so his pit window is open. So the LMP boys, when they cross the line this time, it will be on their pit window will be open. The GT boys have still got another lap or so to go before that. And he catches up to Neil Farmack now to lap him. There he goes, and now it's going to get Bidzster as well before the next corner. As we go down towards Priory, he's on the inside, he's past Bidzster, nice and clean before we even get to the corner on the brakes. So good job there by Footman, working his way through the traffic. And now it's Growly Bear's turn as Growly Bear comes up to the back of the Ford there of Stevie and passes him on the inside into the corner. So well done there from Growly Bear, good move there as well. As we look at Bidzster then, so there's Footman passing Sarek, so he's passed all the GT runners now. He's now got some clear air for some fast laps himself as Bidzster just runs over the curb a bit there, no harm done. As we look at, James Deluxe takes out the marker boards and then runs wide, and then Callum will come through because he's got an overspeed on him, so he should be able to get through before the next corner, and he has done, so good job from there. And then if you look in the background, there's Growly Bear, he's catching up in the LMP, so I think he'll just about time this right. He'll just get to the end of the S's, there's the complex section, and then out onto the straight, use the hybrid system and straight past those cars. He's going to pass Callum here. He'll not get Neil before the next corner, he'll have to wait for Neil, so he'll not get Neil yet. As we go into Stoke corner, Neil Farmack goes round there. He might be able to get him before we get to club. Yes, he has, he's got right round him as we go onto the brakes into the club chicane. So well done to Growly Bear, he's got past a few of them all cleanly as well. He's just got Bidzster and Sarex to deal with now, then he'll have done them all. So here's Stacker, he's got Keith right behind him now, so this is a good little battle on track as well. So Keith and Stacker very close on track. Remember the LMP1 pit lane is definitely open now, and so is the GT's. The GT pit window is open as well, so lap 15 they will close. So lap 15 the pit windows will close as we go across the line. So it's Stacker from Keith, very close together. We'll watch this battle for a little bit as we go across the line into Abbey. Nice lines through there from both as we go towards the village complex. So into village and farm. Nice into there, into village hairpin, and out onto the national straight through the little kink at Vale, and out onto the straight. Keith with a very good line there. So the Audi a lot better around the corners than the Toyota is as they come to lap TY into Priory, and I think Keith hit TY there. Keith hit TY round, so yeah, definitely hit him there. So we'll get a replay on that. Okay guys, here's a replay of what happened between TY and Keith. So watch the Audi on the other side, just locks up his brakes, hits TY and then sends him straight off. Okay, here's a replay of that now in slow motion. So into the corner we go, and then we're going to turn in. You'll see the Audi appear on the left of the picture. There it goes. Now watch Keith's front right wheel, it locks up and then bang, straight into TY, and then that spins him round. There's a comeback from that. There's Blakeney in 5th place. He's all on his own at the minute, but again he's catching Blakeney, he's catching Keith and Stacker. So Blakeney on the move here. As we look back at Stacker when the camera likes to do its thing rather than staring at a pair of porta potties. There we go. So Stacker now still got Keith behind him, but he's passing the traffic. He's doing well to concentrate on the traffic and keep Keith behind at the minute, so good job by Stacker. But onto the straight, the Toyota will pull away initially, but in the draft, will the Audi be able to close up as they come up to one of the Porsches? That's James Deluxe. Come up to James Deluxe now. It's round the Stowe corner at the top of the circuit, down to the club chicane, and then pit lane time. So onto the brakes, boys. Got to slow down for that line. James Deluxe and Stacker leaving it very last minute there. So James Deluxe and Stacker in the pits. Footman goes round. Growly Bear goes round. Where's Keith? Keith must be in the. No, he's there. Keith's there. Keith goes round. Blakeney goes round. Stacker is obviously in the pits. And there's Cyrex. So Cyrex hasn't pitted yet. Leaving it a bit later, as Bidzster is as well. He was actually visibly caught up to Cyrex there, so Cyrex now under a bit of pressure from Bidzster here. So Bidzster closing up as we look at Neil Farmack, who's about to get passed by one of the LMPs. I think that's is that Keith? I think it is. Yes, it is. It's Keith. So he gets passed by Keith there. There's Callum, and he's got one of the Toyotas coming up behind him. I think that's, is it Stacker or is it the other one? It's no, it's the other one. It's not Stacker. It's Blakeney. I'm just trying to get to the names. I'm just trying to get these names right, guys, because new championship, new people. So or new team, should I say? So Blakeney around Cop's corner then. He's about to catch a Parzadar blade and pass him. He'll probably just be able to do it before the next corner, and nips past on the outside. Beautifully done there into the complex section. As we look at a pair of trucks while we try and find Footman. There he is. Footman goes round. Onto the grass. Little mistake there from Footman in the lead. So just a bit of a lapse of concentration there. So there's Growly Bear. He's not coming to the pitch yet. Stacker, he's going round there. Obviously, we saw him going to the pits behind one of the GT guys. We saw him going behind. Behind one of the GT guys. I'm getting a bit mixed up with myself, guys, but you'll know from rewinding the video who it was. I've just got that much to do because I'm changing the cameras, I'm talking, I'm doing everything at once. So Blakeney is in, and also this is all live. This is none of this is pre-recorded. This is all live on the spot. That's hence why some mistakes are made sometimes, but I do prefer it done live. Feels more real. As we got Neil Farmack in as well in the Corvette, I can see that as well. So Neil Farmack's in. So we'll just have a little look on the roof cam. So Blakeney is on the way out, and Neil is he's on the way in as his pit lane's right at the end. So Neil Farmack's in as well. Is anyone else coming in? No, I don't think we've got anyone else coming in. Just gonna have a quick flick through as Arzadar Blade has left. So Arzadar Blade has retired because his car weren't working, but the thing is, if Arzadar Blade actually went to the end, he would have finished last in his class, which still would have been meant more points, so he could have got a 6th place finish and some decent points, but unfortunately he's chosen to retire. So unfortunately for Arzadar, they're not scoring any points for his team, which is unfortunate. As Footman the leader in, then the leader into the pit lane, down to the pit lane speed. So Footman in the pits. Growly Bear, will Growly Bear pit now or will he go round? I know there were quite a gap between them anyway, and he's going in. So Growly Bear goes in, so I would imagine the gap would be about the same. He's got to slow down for that line though. That looked a bit quick. No, that looked very quick indeed. Actually, that could be a penalty for Growly Bear there. So Growly Bear went very fast into the pit lane there as Blakeney goes round. So does Keith round here somewhere. So apologies for the cameras, ladies and gentlemen. They are appalling on this game, and also you've still got all these playback controls on, which is even more annoying. And but hey ho, we will survive. And also, if you look, the lighting's changing as well, so you can't get the lighting right as TY goes off the track there. TY goes off the track with Stacker right behind him. So TY really struggling with this car still in that Aston Martin. As we'll just go onto a cockpit view. So there goes Stacker in the LMP one. So nice onboard shot here from TY. As we look into the corner, there's no one behind us in the mirror, into the apex of the corner. Trying to concentrate on catching Stevie, but that's how much problems TY's having. Just the Aston Martin, horrible handling, just oversteer it. I don't know why Project Cars designed it like this, but there goes Blakeney as well, who outbrakes himself. So unlucky there for Blakeney there, but he outbrakes himself and gets past TY. But he's just about gets the car going, and then onto the straight. So Footman still in the lead of this race then, despite his pit stop, because Growly Bear did it behind him, but Stacker hasn't pitted yet. No, sorry, Stacker has pitted, so let's have a look. It's just the timing screen getting a bit loopy here, so I do apologise for this, but the order will soon sort itself out after lap 15. So don't worry about that, ladies and gents. We'll get back on things. As we look at Callum there, he's come back through the field nicely as well. In the Ford GT. And here's TY. Still struggling with that Aston Martin, but hopefully he'll get used to it in time. But it's not, just doesn't suit these tracks. As Stevie goes round in the Ford GT. Stevie goes round the back end trying to overtake the front. So Stevie goes round, but then gets the car back on track into Luffield. They'll have to watch them tyre temperatures now, because they'll be quite warm after that little slide. TY catches up to the back of him. So TY catches up, but in the fast corners is not where the Aston Martin is particularly good. It's good in the fast straights and the slow corners, but if you give it a fast corner, it doesn't tend to like it very much. As you go around here, you've actually got a good line that time though, TY. So I'm eating my own words here. As we go down towards the complex, the Maggots here, and then Beckett's, and then Chapel, the end, onto the straight. TY gets a good run onto the straight there as well, so he could even be making a move here because of the top end of the Aston. So as we come down the straight, he's in the draft of Stevie here, pulls out to the outside. Stevie keeps to the inside to defend the line on the inside, into the corner. Stevie keeps the place, and TY tries to go for the inside, and Stevie has a little step, and the car steps out. There was no contact there. That was just a mistake on Stevie's point. As he spins the car back round again, that's not going to be good for the rear tyre temperatures. But again, gets the car going, and now he decides to come into the pits. Enough is enough. Let's get some new rubber on this thing and let's start again. As he's going very fast into the pit lane. That was very fast into the pit lane there. So yeah, a bit too fast into the pit lane there from Stevie, but hey ho. That might be the reason for a penalty at the end of the race. We'll see. As Footman comes up to the back of Growly Bear. So James Deluxe, sorry, I will get these names right. I do beg your pardon. I'm reading one thing and I'm seeing another. So Footman in first place, then goes around James Deluxe to lap him. Obviously, vast difference in the cars because he's in LMP1 and James Deluxe in GT. Just shows you how quick they pull away, and those hybrid systems are insane. The power they deliver is insane. As Growly Bear in second place, so I think the standings have sort of reset themselves in a way now. So Growly Bear in second place, so he's doing well there, and Keith is in third. He's got some traffic to deal with at the minute because he's got Bidzster ahead of him, and he's just going to go out and pass him onto the straight. Lovely jubbly there from Bidzster. Just keeps on his line and then flashes lights. Say there you go, and then Keith says thank you very much, old chum. And then Stacker now coming up to pass his teammate. So Bidzster will have seen him on the inside, but again, GT cars with right of way on the line. So Bidzster will not make it too hard for Stacker there. He just goes a bit wider out the corner and just lets Stacker go through. So Stacker goes through, and now it's Blakeney's turn to get past Bidzster, who loses it onto the way into the corner. Oh, Bidzster very sideways on the way into the corner there. Just locked up a rear brake, I think, and then lost it as Blakeney goes up the inside. Oh, a bit of a risky overtake there, and then goes really wide and then alongside Stacker and causes contact. Oh, and it causes contact, and there's boards everywhere, and they've lost bodywork, and Bidzster has to slow down. Oh wow, that was a silly thing for Blakeney there, because he tried to overtake Bidzster on the inside before that next corner, which is risky. And I know he's got the hybrid power, but it's still risky to do anyway, because you've got to make sure you've got some charge in the battery. But then he goes side by side with Stacker and causes contact, so we'll get a replay on that. Okay, let's get a replay on that, but before that we're going to have a look at something that happened earlier on in the race. Blakeney on lap 8, bang, hits Stevie in the rear end and just blatantly takes him off the track, and then continues. Okay, here's the replay on board the Bidzster. So Stacker's just passed us his teammate, then we almost hit the back of him and lock up over the curb, so no harm done there. Now watch for Blakeney storming past on the inside. Stacker already makes a little mistake there. Blakeney comes storming past and goes round the outside over the track limits, and then as he rejoins, bang, hits the other Toyota, takes out loads of signs, hits the wall himself, and then Bidzster has to hit the brakes hard to avoid the incident. So very, very dangerous driving there from Blakeney. So as you come back from the two Toyotas trying to be aggressive with each other, we look at Growly Bear in second place. He's coming up to lap a couple of guys now. So he's lapping James Deluxe there, and then Stevie's just ahead. So he might be able to get him just before the end of the straight. And with the overspeed, he should be able to. Yeah, easy as pie. Into the corner, Growly Bear goes through and laps Stevie and James Deluxe, who are still entwined in a little battle there. So there's James Deluxe in 12th place behind Stevie in 11th. So again, quite a close contest between all them as well. And here's Callum, 10th place. He's catching up to Neil Farmack now, so it's Corvette versus Ford. So the Corvette C7 versus the new Ford GT. I won't say new, it's a couple of years old now, but yeah, when it was new, it was a revolution. It looked really good as Callum weaves on the straight a bit, so it's a sign that his tyres are going cold. Because if you look, with the weather, it's getting a bit cloudy here, so the track temperature will be dropping a bit. So the tyres will be going off slightly. Well, not be going off, but they'll be cooling. So they won't have as much heating as they did. So let's see if Callum can get Neil within the next few laps then, as we look to the leaders in GT. Cyrex, there he is. So Cyrex in 9th place there. And was that? I saw the standings are just slowly resetting themselves here. As Bidzster is in the pits. Bidzster's in the pits. So Bidzster's in the pits now. So this Cyrex is going down the straight. And I think TY, Callum and Callum's back there. So Callum's back there. It's just the diagrams that are resetting themselves. So Bidzster's there. TY is coming through there as well. He's must have pitted already. As he goes into the corner and just gets passed by our leader there, Footman. He goes past. Footman 3 in the lead. So where's Bidzster? There's Bidzster. He's in the pit lane somewhere. He's still stood still, I think. Well, he's coming down the pit lane now. So where's Cyrex? There goes Cyrex. So Cyrex goes through here and Bidzster's going to come out behind him. Yep, no sign of Bidzster yet, so Bidzster's still coming down the pit lane. There he is, Bidzster's just come out the pit lane, so it's visibly closer to Cyrex, but it's close enough, but no cigar. So there's Neil and Callum, so they've dropped back a bit, so there's your order then. So in the GT class, TY can't have pitted yet, so TY again leaving it late in the Aston, so TY leaves it a bit late with the pit stop, and there's Cyrex just behind him and Bidzster. As we look to the LMP1 battle, we've still got Stacker and Blakeney quite close on track, I think. According to the thing here we have, and yes, there's Stacker with Blakeney not far behind, and Keith's only just in front. So still only a couple of seconds between all these cars. So good stuff here. Some good battles happening up and down the track in different classes, which is what we want to see here. As TY goes through there, he's had a little mistake there. He must have had a little mistake because Bidzster's gone through and Cyrex, so TY again going backwards here, not really having a good race. So after he's done his pit stop, he'll definitely be behind Neil and Callum, and might even be behind Stevie as well. So we'll have to see how that goes for TY as we watch him go around the Maggots Beckett's curves around here. So slides into that corner. You can just see how the car is just so unstable. In real life, that is one of the most best handling GT cars that there is, but unfortunately on this game they've made it handle like a pig, so which isn't good. It's not good for Aston Martin because it is a car that we would like to see being competitive with the others, but hopefully TY will be able to extract something out of it, because one thing they have done is they get it insane top speed. So because it's front, they just decided to punish the cornering because it's front engine rear drive, whereas the others are mid-engined rear drive. So they just decided to punish the Aston Martin a bit and affect its cornering, which is wrong. So it should still be up there. It should have balanced it out a bit better. As Growly Bear comes to pass TY now, and then his next target will be that man Bidzster just ahead in the Porsche. As Growly Bear comes up into village. Remember, Bidzster has the right of way with the apexes and the lines, and then we'll come out the corner. Growly will get on that hybrid system, and then just as we get through this kink, he'll be able to pull out and pass Bidzster. There he goes, down the straight, and there we go. Bidzster gives a little flash of light to say hello. Hello again. So Footman in the lead then, 28 seconds ahead of Growly Bear in truly dominant style here. Footman could end up taking his first win outright with LPB Racing, so that'll be good to see. So that's why I've done this as well. It gives the guys that are usually at the back a chance to fight for the top positions, so they get to get the overall points, and it brings them into the championship. So this championship really does reward consistency between teammates and individually as well. It really does require consistency because you've got to do well in both. It's alright going outright and winning the LMP1 race, but if you can't win the GT race as well, then you've not really averaged out best on points. Or it'd be even worse if it were the other way around, if you win the GT race and then don't win the LMP1, because you'll get 8 points winning the GT race and GTE race, and then you'll probably get maybe, if you're coming last in the LMP1, maybe another 8 or 9, maybe 7 points. So again, it's not very good for the average. You've got to try and keep those point scores up as Footman comes down the straight to his next victim, who is James Deluxe. But again, he's got to wait for James Deluxe. He's got plenty of time to get past, and he yet still runs into the back of him. So again, not being patient enough is Footman, and James Deluxe just decides to let him go because he's not very happy about that. So Footman, you had all that time, and you've got 28 seconds to Growley. You could have waited a bit longer there, but never mind. You go through in the lead anyway. So there's Growley Bear in second. And then we've got a good battle on here, Blakeney and Stacker. Blakeney and Stacker here only half a second apart. Blakeney, I think Blakeney just got through there for that position from Stacker, so we'll just get a quick replay on that. Okay, here's the replay of how Blakeney passed Stacker then. So Stacker gets a bit of a slow run at the previous corner, goes up the inside in towards Abbey, and he's right up the inside, and then Stacker has to give way to him. But so that's how he should have passed him in the first place. So as we come back from that then, Blakeney in 4th place, Stacker in 5th. Very close. That was going to be a battle that goes to the line. Keith's pulled out about 4 or 5 seconds on these lots, so Keith's pulled away a little bit. So it looks like he might end up being secured that 3rd place, but we'll see how things go, because you never know in motorsport, things could change in a matter of seconds. As Cyrex comes out in the Luffield hairpin onto the old start-finish straight. He's in the lead of the GTE class, again like he was in the LMP1. So Cyrex doing very well here. Again, sorry for the name mix-ups. So a lot of names in this one now start with S, so it's quite hard to get things right. But yes, Cyrex in the lead of the GTE class, followed by Bidzster, who's only 3 seconds behind him still, so still not much of a gap there. And then TY just behind, well, it says TY just behind Bidzster, so TY has picked it up a bit. But this is lap 15 now, as TY loses the back end, and he's gone right round. TY loses the back end, and I would imagine if TY's not pitted, he needs to now, because it's the last lap of his pit window. So TY will have to come in this lap, I would imagine. As we look in the background, Neil Farmack in the Corvette with Callum in the Ford GT, still behind him. So it's been a good battle in this race between them two, as I think that's Keith coming through in the Audi to lap them as he comes through the traffic. Just flashing his lights, just letting them know that they're there. He's there, and into the corner we go, and Keith goes through and laps them nicely as Neil makes a mistake, and then Callum could get an opportunity here, but no, Callum doesn't get any opportunity into that corner. As we look at TY, who is definitely coming to the pits now, so TY is going to go back down the order now. So TY leaves his pit stop late, and I don't think that will have helped him, especially with the state of the tyres on that Aston, but hopefully might have a bit of a better second half. But there goes one of the Toyotas, there goes Blakeney, and then Stacker and the other Toyota just behind these two, getting ready to lap them again, as well as Callum goes wide and makes a mistake, so he just decides to let the LMP1 car go at the same time just to save the hassle. And now it's Stacker and Neil, as the camera tries to catch up to them again. There we go, there's Neil Farmack in the Corvette, and now Stacker's just going to get on the hybrid system out in this corner, or maybe wait a bit, and now get on the power and go around him onto the straight. There we go. So both Toyotas pass nice and neatly there into the next corner. So let's check on our leader then, Footman. He's coming into the complex as well there. So just keeping it nice and easy, just keeping up the consistency and keeping up the concentration. That's one thing that's hard with an endurance race, is keeping up the concentration for the full duration, and also pushing hard for the duration as well. Because on these cars with the compounder tyres being that hard, the tyres, you don't really have to worry about the wear on the tyres, just go for it, go all out. But obviously going all out for 40 minutes, there is going to be some mistakes. Because obviously remember, we're all not professional drivers on here, we're all amateur drivers, we just do this for fun. And anyone else that does want to join LPB Racing, check us out on Facebook, LPB Racing at facebookgroups.co.uk, and also on YouTube, which you're watching this on. So LPB Racing on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. So it is appreciated, every single like and every single subscribe is very much appreciated. So we are trying to grow as a group and get a few more people into this, and hopefully do a few more championships at the same time. So we'll see how things go over time as Keith goes to lap Bidzster there, and Blakeney not too far behind as well. So Keith's got to watch out here because he's been a bit caught up in some of the traffic, and Blakeney's starting to catch up. There he is in the Toyota behind when the camera gets to him, as he's just passing Bidzster there. He's got to wait here because Bidzster can't just let him go, because he's got to stick to his line and stick to his own race as well. So Blakeney's got to wait and be patient here. I imagine Blakeney will wait until after this next kink and then get past on the hybrid power. As we go into this corner, Bidzster will take his normal line, Blakeney will go straight through, and Keith's got straight past Cyrix, so Keith is now in the clear from the GT cars for a little bit. And Blakeney goes through, and now it's Stacker's turn to get past his teammate. I wouldn't imagine Bidzster make it too hard for Stacker here as they go into the hairpin at Luffield, and then on to the old start-finish straight, and then yeah, Bidzster keeps to the left and just let Stacker go through straight on hybrid power. As Blakeney gets past Cyrix before the next corner as well, so it's now Stacker's turn to get past the last of the GT cars, and then he's got a bit of clear air for a bit as we go up towards Maggots Beckett's, and he's already got it done before he gets there, so Stacker gets it done, so well done to him. Let's have a little look further back in. So we've got Neil coming towards the next corner, so Callum's got through past Neil now, so Callum definitely through ahead of Neil, so he got past him into Cop's corner. Nice and neat through there from them two as well. Stevie is not having a good race here. TY slowed up, made another mistake. He was ahead of Stevie out the pit lane, so Stevie and TY both having quite bad races here and making a few mistakes here, there and everywhere, and so is James Deluxe. He's not having a good race either. James Deluxe all the way back here in the Porsche, again just a few mistakes, so unlucky for James Deluxe. As we look at TY and Stevie coming into Cop's corner, nice neat line that time for TY, but again that car, it must feel like it's floating because of the handling deficit on that Aston Martin. Like I said earlier, Project Cars have made that Aston really hard to handle, but TY and Blakeney think they're brave enough to handle it, so good on them. Something different, and obviously that car, oh, and Stevie's gone round in the background. Now, was that contact with one of the LMP cars there? We'll get a replay. Okay, here's a replay on board with Growly Bear to see if there was contact between him and Stevie. So we're coming into the Maggots Beckett's complex, and Stevie makes a mistake there. We break in avoidance, we have a little slide ourselves, and then Stevie goes round here, but then just gets the power on too early and spins round himself, so there's actually no contact. Stevie made his own mistake. So as you come back from that, TY in 10th place then with after that spin from Stevie, and then TY spins himself. TY spun himself. Stevie will be rubbing his hands together here because it will give him a chance to catch up. There he is, but TY's already got going, I think. Yeah, yes he has. So there's still a big gap between them, but it's not as big as it was before. Meanwhile, let's check on our leader. Oh, there we are. Leader passes leader. Footman passes Cyrix. Leader passes leader. So LMP1 leader passes GTE leader into Cop's corner, flying into there. The speed of these LMP1 cars is just beyond me. So fast. We go into Maggots and Beckett's. Footman making it look absolutely effortless. On the drive of his life here, 40 seconds ahead of the field. Truly dominant style, for looking for his first outright win in LPB racing. So well done to Footman in advance. So hoping that he gets to the end, that is, because obviously you never know in LPB racing, you never know, he might not make it to the end. So, but if he makes 42 seconds worth of mistakes, then something has seriously gone wrong. But we'll see how things go. Oh, we got a car off right at the, I think I saw a car go off at that last corner there. It's not Bidzster, it must have been James Deluxe. So James Deluxe goes really wide there, I don't know why that happened, but we'll get a replay on it. So there goes James Deluxe after we come back from that. Through there into the village hairpin as we look at Stevie, and was that TY? Yes, TY spun again. TY spun again. Stevie goes through. So Stevie goes through into 10th place. TY down to 11th. So again, mistakes everywhere for TY. Not the best of races for him in this one. So again, it's just that Aston Martin. It is killing him, and then on the curbs, round we go again, and then almost off backwards into the wall, and then gets going. But yeah, not a good race for TY here at all. And there's James Deluxe going through in 12th place. lap down well, no, he's not a lap down, sorry, he's about 21 seconds down on TY. Who goes at that corner very sideways again, so that car again on tenterhooks. As we look at Footman on the penultimate lap of his race into the Maggots Beckett's Chapel corners. Got some real speed going on there, making it look absolutely effortless. Through there, good job. And on his way down the hanger straight, he's even going to catch up his fellow compatriots to lap his own guys in his own class. So that'll be embarrassing for him, but we'll have to see how that goes. As we look at Stacker, he's the next one. He's the next victim for Footman. As Footman goes past TY into the chicane. So there's Stacker and Keith and Blakeney, who's up into third place now. So Keith's been demoted down to fourth. Blakeney up to third place. So Blakeney back up to third then. Keith down to fourth, Stacker fifth. We look at Keith and Stacker into the next corner, but then again remember they've got their class leader coming up behind them. As Keith runs wide there, Keith goes very wide. That's gonna ruin his traction. Stacker could be in for a move here. He gets in the draft. He's got good overspeed in that hybrid, hybrid Toyota, and goes right around the outside and takes fourth place back. Keith down to fifth again. Now he's going to have to watch his mirrors as well because he'll be getting the blue flags for the other car. But I don't think he'll be bothered about that. He wants to battle Stacker here for these positions. Every point helps. Footman makes a mistake there, so that takes the pressure off the blue flag situation for now. So Stacker's still ahead from Keith. As the Blakeney passes one of the GT cars, I think that was Stevie. So round this corner, Stevie's off. Stevie's gone off. Stevie's spun round in the background there. As we look at these cars coming through here, there's Footman. So he's again catching up to Keith, but I hope Footman's just going to back off here and let Keith continue with that battle with Stacker, because it would be a nice last lap battle to watch rather than lap him. But it looks like he might end up doing it at this rate. We'll see. Into the last few corners then for Footman to take his maiden victory in LPB racing and his first outright win of this championship. Into the club chicane, he's going for the overtake for the lap, but Keith's not having any of it. He wants to battle Stacker on this last lap, but is Footman going to go through? He is! Footman goes through to lap Keith, so Keith is going to finish there, so that's really bad for Keith, but well done to Footman, he takes the win. Personally, I'd have been a bit more of a gentleman and let Keith go to continue that battle, but Footman laps him anyway and takes the win, so well done to Footman. Race win for him. And then Growly Bear, he's coming through for second place in the LMP class. In second place in the LMP, there he is. So he's going to be second in the LMP class. There's Blakeney and Stacker there going around in the two Toyotas now. Keith unfortunately can't do it behind because he's already been lapped by Footman. Let's have a look at the GT finishes then. Cyrex is going to come through and win the GT race. So Cyrex wins both the classes then, wins the LMP and wins the GTE class. So well done to Cyrex, setting trends already. Flashes lights to take his win. Cyrex wins the GTE class. There he goes across the line. Well done to Cyrex. Bidzster's going to get a second place in the class as well. So well done to Bidzster, second place in the GTE class. He'll be happy with that. Goes across the line. Callum's going to get third in the GTE class. In 8th place, third in class. So well done to him. Neil Farmack is going to finish in 4th in class, 9th overall. He's already crossed the line, I think, so he's going quite slow unless he's just taking his time down to the line. There's Stevie. James Deluxe, and then the replay is going to end there. So we'll just get those points in for you now, guys. Okay guys, here's the results then. So Footman wins that one, his first outright win with LPB Racing. Well done to Footman. Growly Bear, a well-deserved second place. Third place is Blakeney, good to see him on the podium. Stacker in 4th, and then Keith in 5th for LMP1 as we go over the page. And then we've got Cyrex, who wins the GTE class, so he wins both classes in this one, so well done to Cyrex. Good points for him there. Bidzster in 7th place, and then Callum in 8th. Neil Farmack in 9th, Stevie finishes in 10th, James Deluxe in 11th, and TY in 12th position. So as we come back from that, the winner of that race was Footman, even though as we've gone back to the start of the race, I do apologise, we'll just get Footman's car on screen for you. There it is, there's Footman in the green car, so he wins that race. So we'll see you guys next time at Spa. So take care, guys.